Well, here I am, I'm buttoning up all my rotating stuff, and I had something occur to me. I was just getting ready to put my oil pan on, and I realized this is a turbo build. I need to have a turbo drain, and I want it to go into the oil pan. So I guess we get to find out where we're gonna put our oil drain. What we're gonna use for our oil drain is one of these -10 AN weld-in bungs. Has to be at least -10, I would say, because you really want the oil to be able to get out of the turbo, back into the system, cooled off, cleaned up, and then...
What I'm trying to say here is once the oil enters the turbo, it needs an unrestricted exit. Its job is done here.
Get the old hot oil out of the turbo as easily as possible. That's why we're using a -10 AN fitting. So we've got the pan on here. I know that my turbo in my setup is sitting right out here in front of the motor, fairly low, which isn't good, but we need to try to keep gravity on our side. That drain is gonna sit about here, and I'm gonna try to make a straight shot as good as possible right back to the pan. The thing you want to remember when you're doing these drains is that you want your drain to go where it's not going to be submerged in oil. If you were to put your oil drain in the bottom of the pan, you're going to be fighting oil coming downhill because your oil level in your motor's up here. So if you're feeding your oil drain down here, it's not going to have a very good flow. So what we're going to aim to do is we're going to put that bung as high as possible and as forward as possible to try to get the oil coming out of the turbo as easily as possible. So right here is where we're gonna go with it. So now that we've got this guy up on the bench, what I do see is I have two stiffeners right here in the oil pan. So that shouldn't be too hard to get a hole drilled in between these guys. My favorite tool to use when I'm drilling holes in aluminum is the Orbi bit. They work awesome, they work fast. So first, I don't know if I'm gonna actually take any measurements, but I am gonna at least give myself a mark, make sure I like it. It's easy to see both sides, give it a punch, and we're going through with our... Now, there, that's what I'll do. I like where the fitting is. I run my Sharpie right down the inside. Where this hole goes isn't real critical, but I always like to center punch my holes before I drill anything, because you don't get to take it back unless you got a welder and it's metal. Then you can always take it back. I like it. High gear. What is wrong with this drill? Harbor Freight Tools, get you some. Well, drill. Another Harbor Freight drill. At least this one plugs into the wall. One more step. There it is. All right, here we go. I've got the fresh bung. It is clean. I've got this oil pan as clean as I can possibly get it. I've been doing this long enough to know that this is gonna be terrible. I'm gonna get pissed. Probably not gonna have a meltdown today because I'm at home and like this is supposed to be fun. My mom's not gonna be proud of the language I use. But anyways, let's get to welding this thing. It's not gonna get done talking about it. Can't weld with Bluetooth ground. Yep, ow. It's horrible porous aluminum. One more side, and then we'll get to the welding part. All right, let's get to welding around this guy. Just make sure I get the back wrapped first before this thing gets smoking hot. That welded surprisingly good. I can't believe it. All right, there we are. We've got an oil drain welded in. It is definitely, you can kind of see the specks of contamination in the weld. But that thing's gonna hold oil, I'm sure of it. So now next, drilling my hole there. Oop, I got a little burr. Oh, that's still hot. What am I thinking? Got a little burr there. I'm gonna get that burr out. I'm gonna pull this pan out and make sure that I have no shavings left inside of this guy. Give this guy a quick blow job. And give this guy a quick wipe job. And there we go, ready to go together. And we got our oil drain. And since we're on the topic of oil drains, we might as well go over oil feed because there's not much to talk about there, but maybe people aren't aware. Motion Raceworks makes this neat little fitting deal. Bolts on right above the oil filter. And the cool thing is, pull it out of the box. The cool thing is, it's got these little 1/8 inch NPT ports. Pull out of there. Then you can get, like me, also motion cells, 8th NPT to -3AN fittings that go in these guys. Let's just pull one out. Put this little fitting in right here. Let's just do the job real quick. It's that easy. Pull that guy off. Boom. Worthless, I don't know. But Motion was genius for repurposing it. Well, for the sake of the video, the gasket looks okay. And run a little screws on here. And just like that, in real time, like 20 minutes, I've got my oil drain on my oil pan, and I bolted my oil feed on right above where my oil filter goes. And this baby's ready to put on the motor, and that turbo is ready to be fed and drained. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna button this up and keep on going with actually building my motor. We'll see you next time.